There are numerous martial arts practiced all around the world, with the ancient art of karate perhaps the best known. And one of the most modern forms of karate is known as Kyokushin, or full contact karate. It has a huge following, and someone who knows more than most about Kyokushin is South Africa's world champion in the discipline, Henny Bosman.
Well, Kyokushin karate was started by Master Masuyama in Japan in the 50s. He wanted more from karate and felt that the traditional karate wasn't practical enough. And he devised the Kyokushin techniques. To start off with, he went to live in a mountain for 3 years. And he did for 3 years, he lived in a mountain. The Mitsumini is the name of the mountain, where he did extreme training with all the stuff from nature that was available. Stones, tree trunks, under waterfalls. He used to sit under icy waterfalls, meditate to make himself strong. And after 3 years, when he came out of the mountain, he was a real, if I may say, a monster. He challenged all possible guys who wanted to fight him. After a while, nobody wanted to fight him. And then he proved his power by fighting bulls. And he did extreme training. So Kyokushin karate is actually known for extreme training. My dojo in Welgemoot, I started about 40 years ago. And we started with Kyokushin, although it wasn't real Kyokushin, as we were learning from the Japanese on the ships at that stage. So as time passed, gradually we conformed to the techniques from Japan. In 1980, a Japanese instructor called Aoki came to South Africa, and he lived here for 18 months, and he taught Kyokushin the proper way.
Henny runs the Welgemoot Dojo in Cape Town, where he teaches hundreds of students every day. One who stands out is an 86-year-old black belt student who took up Kyokushin 16 years ago.
I was on a farm in Caledon, and I was attacked on the farm and raped. Henny and my son were at school in the same class, so Henny said he's got a self-defense class. So I took it and I came to him and said, no, I don't think that's good enough for me.
I suggested that she come and do karate. And she says, but I'm 70. I said, Oma, you know, you're not going to be the South African champion, but we can do a lot for you. And that was 16 years ago, and she's still going strong. And if I'm honest, in the 16 years, from 70 to 86, she actually even got better, stronger, and even more healthy.
The challenge in the beginning for me was to try and keep up with the youngsters.
Oma never did exercise in her life after school, because she married young and she had 5 children. And so it was difficult for her to start because she's never done exercise. So she had to learn strength, she had to learn coordination, balance. But with her perseverance, she managed to do it. You know, she's a very humble person. And when she got a brown belt, I think she thought that she was going to end with brown. And then we told her one day, on her birthday, when she turned 80, that day, she walked in, we organized some TV people and radio people, and she was so surprised. Today we're doing your grading for your black belt.
Normally, anybody starting karate, all they think about is a black belt. That didn't worry me at all. I just came here solely to defend myself. I was 70 when I started. So that's why I didn't bother to think about black belt. But when I got it, I couldn't believe it.
Kyokushin karate is the hardest form of karate, so it's actually not suited for Oma. But you know, we allow people to train according to their capabilities. She wouldn't enter into tournaments. Our tournaments is full contact. But you know, Kyokushin is excellent for self-defense. We really train our bodies to be extremely strong and fast. And you know, Oma got along, you know, and for grading she had to do 20 rounds of sparring for a black belt. But we made it 10 for her, as she is 80 when she did it. So, you know, we had to allow for her age, but she still, she would give some young ladies a really, and even some smaller men, a go in a fight. Sometimes it happens, you wake up and the person's in your room. Then attack is the best way of defense. Nobody expect a woman of 70 or 80 or 86 to attack you. And you know, she punches hard. And because one person attacked her, I'm sure today she could have defended herself. Striking him to the groin, striking him to the eyes, breaking his fingers. You know, there's always ways of defending yourself.
Somebody just now said, "Oh, could I defend myself if something happens to me now?" Well, he must come and find out for himself.
Omar's journey has not been an easy one. In 2009, she suffered a stroke, and a year later was involved in a car accident. What carried her through these times, she says, was her faith and Kyokushin karate.
I was very sick. I couldn't walk. I was in hospital for 3 months. And that I can do what I do now. I can only thank God for that. Taking up karate taught me to cope with the trauma of what happened to me.
You learn to feel better about yourself. The whole thing about life is to feel good about yourself. And you can't feel good about yourself if you're unfit. You can't feel good about yourself if you know you can't handle yourself in a situation. So it's all about confidence, and I think Oma has a confidence that she can sleep at night, and she knows that if the situation arises and she has to defend herself, she can do that.
Jihan Henny has been involved in the sport for 52 years and specializes in teaching the art of karate to children, with over 1,000 youngsters under his guidance at the moment. But he does make subtle changes to his teaching methods when he has elderly pupils.
Oma trains regular 3 classes a week, Monday, Wednesday, Friday, of 1 hour each. At the moment, she still completes all the classes unless she's not well that day. She doesn't only train with me, she trains with other instructors, and they adapt the training. So we do the normal class, but if there's certain exercises that is not suitable for her, we let her do something alternatively. Say we do star jumps, she doesn't do that, we ask her to do squats. And say we do shuttle runs, we'll give her maybe to punch the bag or something, because you have to look after her and see that she doesn't overexert herself.
There are some of the exercises that, for instance, kicking high. You know, I couldn't kick as high as they do. And push-ups, I couldn't do all the push-ups they did. I couldn't keep up with that. But I tried to.
When an older person starts, I first let them do a medical, that we know we don't have a case where somebody can get a heart attack or something. Then they start off by doing half a class. And we put them in the other floor, and one of the instructors helped them slowly to get them into it. And basically after about 2 months, they can do the whole class, and they succeed. After every 6 months, there's a grading. After about 7 years, they go for their black belt, 7 or 8 years. And in Oma's case, it took her 16 years to get a second dan. But it's harder for her, but she kept at it, and the sky's the limit.
Henny is a dedicated and focused athlete, and despite his age, he's 61, he's in exceptionally good physical condition and as strong as many a man half his age.
I think we can use Gary Player as an example. Gary Player is, I think, 81, 82. He can still beat his age every day in the golf course. So I think Gary Player answers that for us. You can stay very effective, very good, very strong. You know, Nakamura Hideo trained till 95, and he was still very dangerous at 95. So I expect Oma at least to train to 90, but you know, you got to have the grace from above to keep your health. And so if you keep your health, you eat right, you train well, and you sleep well, and you take your vitamins, you will stay healthy, and you'll be able to train.
I can only thank Henny, Jihan Henny, for allowing me to come, because for him to allow me to start at 70, nobody would ever think about it. And that they allow me to still come in, I can't believe it. And but I think I'll have to stop at some time when they kick me out. Hopefully not.
It would take a brave person to try and kick Omar out of Henny's dojo. two amazing South Africans who continue to inspire the next generation.